chapter number 2, linear equations in one variable. In class 7, you have already learned some of the basic concepts of algebra. Today, let us quickly revise some of those concepts. Now, you know that algebra is a branch of mathematics which deals with known and unknown numbers and their operations. Now, some of the concepts, the first concept is constants. What are called constants? Constants are the numbers or the numericals or the quantities which have a fixed numerical value. They will not change their values. For example, if you take any numbers like whole numbers, natural numbers, integers, or in total if you call rational numbers, they are all constants. They have a fixed numerical value. If you take examples, you can see constants. If you take 5, 6, 0, all these numbers are called constants. Now the next concept is variables. What are variables? Variables means which can vary. The numbers which are able to vary. Vary means change. So the numbers which changes their numerical values or which take different numerical values are called variables. Okay, variables you have learned in lower classes. You might have learned questions like this. A box or a circle plus 5 is equal to 7. So what is this? Okay, so this is also a variable. Sometimes in some question papers you can see this minus 3 is equal to 5. So what is this? These are all variables. Or when you come to little bit higher classes, you might have learned x plus 3 is equal to 7. So what is x? So these are all called variables. They change. In different sums, they will have different values. So they are called variables. Now in variables, sometimes we use the letters of alphabets. Which are the letters of alphabets? A, B, C, D, etc. If you use letters of alphabets to represent variables, then they are called literals. Okay. Now, when we combine the constants and variables or the constants and literals with the help of operational signs. Which are the operational signs? If we use plus, minus, division or multiplication sign to combine numericals as well as or constants as well as literals, we get an expression. If, for example, if you take x plus y minus 3 is an expression. Okay, so expressions are formed by combining constants and variables with the help of operational signs like plus, minus, division and multiplication. Now, when you write an expression, we told that the constants or literals are combined using this sign. Okay, so when you take an expression, the part of the expression which are separated by plus or minus signs are called terms. For example, if you write an expression like this, x square plus 3xy plus 7. Here, how many terms are there? Here one term, here another term, here the third term. Okay. Now, another example, if you take 5xy minus 3x minus 2. Here you have one term, second term, third term. So the terms are part of an expression which are separated by plus or minus sign. The next concept is factors. What are factors? When you take a term it will have some numericals and some variables. So they are called the factors of the term. Now, if you take an expression, for example, if you have an expression 3x square plus 4xy minus 7, which are the terms of the expression? 3x square, 4xy and minus 7 are the terms of this expression. Which are the factors? You have to take each term and split them. 3x square is 3 multiplied by x multiplied by x. 4xy is 4 multiplied by x multiplied by y, and minus 7 is minus 1 into 7. So these are all factors of the terms. Now what are coefficient? You learned what are factors. Now from the factors, for example, here you have 3x square is a term and the factors are 3 multiplied by x multiplied by x. From these factors, if you take any factor, for example, if you take 3, the coefficient of 3 is x square. And if you take x square, the coefficient of x square is 3. That means in a term, the coefficient of a particular factor will be the remaining factors. Okay. Now if you take this, the coefficient of 4 is xy. Coefficient of y is the remaining factors, that is 4x. Coefficient of x is 4y. Okay. So in any term, the coefficient of a factor is the remaining factors. Now sometimes the coefficient will be a numerical, sometimes it will be a variable. So if it is a numeral, then we call it numerical coefficient, and if it is a variable, we call it variable coefficient. And if simply coefficient, usually we use for numerical coefficient. Okay. Now depending upon the factors, we can name the terms as like terms and unlike terms. Now if you write the factors or the terms like 3x square minus 5x square, 7x square, here all if you check, you can find the variable part. Here it is x square, here also it is x square, here also it is x square. So if the variable factors are same, then such terms are called like terms. And if you have the terms like 3x square, 3y square, 3x. Here the variable is x square. Here the variable factor is y square. And here the variable factor is x. All of them are different. That is, if the terms have different variable parts, different variable factors, then they are called unlike terms. Now, what are polynomials? What are polynomials? Polynomials are expressions in which the power of the variable is positive integers. For example, if you combine all this or any expression you can write. For example, 3x plus 4y plus z is an expression which is called a polynomial, because here the power is 1 which is positive, here the power is 1 which is positive, here also the power is 1 which is positive. Similarly, if you want 8x raised to 5 plus 7 y raised to 3 is a polynomial. But if you write 3x square plus 4 upon x, here the denominator is the variable, or the variable is in the denominator, which means the power of the variable is negative. So if the power of the variable is negative, then it is not called a polynomial. So polynomials must have the variables with power as positive integers. Now, just now we learned that polynomials are expressions in which the variable's power or the power of the variable should be positive. Now, is it compulsory that it is only positive integers as the power? No. It can also be 0. That is, when I write 4, it means 4x raised to 0. So, if the power is 0, then also it is called polynomial. So, what is the definition of a polynomial? Polynomials are expressions in which the power of the variable is non-negative integers. It should not be negative. So, it can be positive or it can also be 0. That's all for today. In the next video, we will learn few more concepts related to polynomials. Thank you.